turn my mic on, I guess I could. All right, first order is the approval of the minutes. The first and a second, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Approval of the order of agenda.
Second.
Okay,
Oh, it was-
first and second, real quick. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Approval of the consent agenda, bills, employee status changes, and overtime.
Moved.
We have first and second, any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. And I don't think we had any other citizen comments. Mr. Ford stepped out. Unless somebody slid one in there, I think we can go on to airport intersection. I think sorry, I mispronounced your name the first time. Luthane, right? All right. You have the floor, madam.
Out is Texas DOT on Rumble trips.
For you.
Oh, hi, thanks. And so the entire reason that I'm here is I'm not an engineer, I'm just a concerned citizen that has a background or with experience with this intersection. And I'm just concerned that I want to make sure we get it right the first time. There's going to be errors along the way, and how we address this intersection is going to either help it succeed or fail. The one thing that I've been arguing since the beginning is that it is human behavior that has caused all of the accidents at this intersection. It's not because of construction. There was one shortly after our crash at that location where there was the light was being worked on, and an impatient driver got in the left turn lane and continued straight without slowing down because they didn't want to wait their turn at the stop and go. Again, human behavior. It's great that they're looking in at putting a 2-lane roundabout in. That addresses the speeding, it slows it down, but it's missing that key characteristic of distracted driving. That 2-lane roundabout, it goes from having 32 contact points that a intersection has to an 8 contact point, and highly minimizes the potential for crashes at that location. When looking at what the DOT had presented us at the last meeting, going east and west, they had a reverse curve on approach, and that's also a preventative to ensure that people are slowing down at that location. Again, helps with the speeding. And then north and south will be single lanes and will not have that curvature. From when I was talking to them, it sounds like they're going to have it at 25 miles per hour when entering that roundabout. And then my proposal when looking at this is coming from east to west and exiting east towards the base. When it goes up to 55 miles per hour, we should have that continue until County 5. So the people that are pulling out of County 5 going right, they safely can get on that highway without concerns for being a high impact speed car crash at that location. So that's another thing that should be taken into consideration when looking at the specific location. The display that they had, they stated that it was not accurate. So like the lights that they had up, they were just kind of for the display, the diagrams they had showed to the public, but it didn't really address, is there going to be signs, what the lighting's going to be like? And I would propose that it wouldn't hurt to have flashing lights on the east and west side when approaching, and then making sure that there is clear lighting in that area. Back in 2024, when we had this initial meeting with the DOT, a big concern of the public was the lighting in that area and safely getting to the airport. One thing that I've got a lot of pushback on is the rumble strips. I will die on this hill. I may fail, but at least I can say I tried.
I'll die with you. I think they should be there.
I personally, from experience, think it's a necessity. They are head on with the speeding, and knocking that problem out, but they aren't really doing anything for the distracted driving. If we put flashing lights there when approaching, that's one way to get your attention if your citizen is looking at the road. But what about those citizens that are driving? They did argue, hey, it's a rural area technically when looking at the boundaries of Grand Forks. A lot of people tend to space out. There's individuals that blame the airport. Oh, they're looking at the airplanes. No, they're looking at their phone. And so if we can get something to jolt their attention, and obviously that is not a safe place to put a speed bump. It's not something we could put in, but rumble strips we can. This was a very hard thing to find any data on. I know that when approaching a roundabout, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, Minnesota, and a couple other states had mentioned it in articles. The one I specifically gave you guys is Texas DOT. And if you look at page 28, they talk about their pattern of what they do when approaching a roundabout. They put 3 separate panels in, depending on the speed, and it kind of breaks down the speed there. For this location, it would be in that lower 45, 55 mile per hour speed. Again, I'm totally not an engineer. I'm just a concerned citizen. And so I tried my best to work with what I had. On there, it shows that pattern is what they have when entering, and that is the pattern that the DOT for North Dakota says, nay, it is only for stop signs when coming up to an intersection. I think that there is no harm in putting this pattern at that roundabout. It does not need to be an intersection or a stop sign, as they had said. And if that's the problem, why don't we try a different pattern? Instead of doing the 3 in a row it gets closer with the speed as you get closer to the roundabout, why don't we do 4 or 5? Why don't we change it up? Or why don't we just keep it the same? Why make it so complicated? It's a low cost, effective solution. And even in that study that I gave you, it says studies have found that it can reduce the injury of crashes by 50%. And I was even looking at what North Dakota had to say about it. And North Dakota says that in North Dakota, nearly 62% of all fatal crashes during the past 3 years have involved lane departures, and it doesn't give an exact number, but from 40 to 60% have been reduced with having rumble strips. And so our DOT sees that these are effective, it's cost effective, but we're having that barrier of, oh, these are for stop signs only. I don't need to understand their logic. They're the engineers. But from a citizen standpoint, it sounds more like a liability not to do something sooner rather than later, because you're still going to have that distracted driving in that area. And then if they hate it, luckily rumble strips are easy to fill. But yeah, that's my spiel. That was a lot.
So I agree with you. I think the rumble strips are an obvious solution no matter what ends up happening with the intersection.
Mm-hmm.
I have said since day one that when you drift off the road to the right a little bit and you hit a rumble strip, your knee-jerk reaction is not to stand on your brakes. I just completely disagree with that thought process. I think your knee-jerk reaction is to look up and go, oh, crap, I drifted. And it catches your attention. I can't see the harm in it. I don't understand why they're not already there.
And my argument to the DOT is we have other states doing it. It's not just Texas. I didn't print it off. It was a really long PDF, but Georgia does it too. And the way that they have it set up for, below 50 miles per hour, they use asphalt concrete strips, and those are what lay on top instead of doing the divots inward. And that they have 30 of those per panel, and they're spread out the same, pretty similar to what you guys see on that paper, but 200 to 300 feet apart, depending on the speed limit itself. So the data's out there for other states. It's just not something that North Dakota has introduced. And, without someone speaking up, I don't think they will introduce it. And this could be helpful, not just to this intersection, but across the state to other problematic areas.
Madam Chair,
Yeah, it's hard to disagree. I mean, I just don't see the downside personally. I suppose they could fill in with snow in the winter time, but that still leaves a whole lot of months where they'd be very effective. And even if they filled in, you're still going to feel something,
Mhm.
and so
Does it raise cane with the plows though?
Nick,
No.
Mr. West, do you have an answer to that? He looks like his wheels are turning.
Stuff, sorry.
You go, yeah, 'cause people watch can't hear it.
sure.
I would say with rumble strips, we'd want to do what we do at intersections if they're done on main line, where you dig a groove in so they're a dip more than a bump. Because when you come with a snow plow, the bump would cause a problem, but you can shake a car the same. Yeah. And as far as putting them on anywhere other than at stop signs, to be honest with the board, I haven't researched that in great detail. I know back in January of this year, I did reach out to the DOT and mention that there was a Colorado road that I drove on when I went skiing out there this last winter that had them on an interstate in a construction zone, and there was rumble strips on the main line where they're trying to slow people down, and there was a speed limit sign there, and I brought it to their attention, and that's as far as it went. So,
Is the member from the DOT online? Maybe
Yeah,
we could
Madam
get a-
Chair, Commissioner Rusted, Mr. Michael Johnson from the DOT is on the Zoom meeting.
Yes, I am here. You can hear me okay.
Yes.
Is there any possible comments that you might have to the potential of rumble strips on US two?
Yeah, so we've heard that comment a couple times now, and we've done some research of our own. As Nick stated, he did share an example that he came across. We were really specifically because looking at this current intersection, the original comment was just that we had heard was to add them to the existing intersection configuration, which is a signalized intersection, and that is not a standard operating practice that we have done here in North Dakota. So we were reaching out trying to find some other states and other examples that had done that for that type of scenario. I think we did find one example in South Dakota. Tried to get some information from them, but they didn't have a lot to share other than it was something that they tried at an intersection, but it hasn't led probably to results where they're repeating it. And that's all we really got from them. No good, bad, or the other, I guess, from the research we did. I think one of the concerns that we have is in North Dakota, the standard practice for those, what I'll call transverse rumble strips, is that they are intended to notify a driver that you need to stop. You're going to be coming up to a stop sign. Please be prepared, be ready. As was stated, this intersection has had a history of issues with human behavior and drivers not following the rules of the road or paying attention to what they're supposed to be doing as they travel through the intersection. And we probably are looking at a point in time where changes to overall traffic pattern are the need of the intersection, instead of introducing more things that still rely on that human behavior. If people are hitting that rumble strip and they expect to stop, but they have a green light, we're introducing another confusion element to the drivers, or they get to the point where they may get used to them and they know, I don't have to, pay attention to those because I get a green light. Maybe that would traverse to them then getting to a rural intersection where they would feel them and a stop sign and they're supposed to stop. I think it's just an unknown of introducing an element into that type of intersection that already is heightened with other items. I think that's just kind of the concerns that we've had up to this point with that potential alternative or option.
Nick, when we had our first, like this was, I think it might have been a year ago with the DOT, there was a bunch of people in this meeting and we had talked about rumble strips. You had mentioned something about rumble strips that were like, went down and went back up or something. Do you remember us talking
Oh.
about those?
Yes. Yes.
Is that even an option that we would be able to do something like that even?
I don't know. It was just something that on that same trip I saw
Okay.
out there that they had, Colorado had a similar situation where rumble strips would come up and down.
Right. And that's
And-
that's what I'm getting at. If it's a concern about it stopping, because the lights flash if you're going to have to stop. So if you're going to have to stop, then the rumble strips come up and then you do stop. So maybe reinforcing that behavior. Because I understand the rumble strips. I get that with
Yeah.
people's human behavior and, oh, no, I need to stop because I hit them. But I also understand where Commissioner Russet is coming from.
Hmm.
Well, I'm alert and now I see I have to stop.
Yep.
Would there be any way for us to look into that or our DOT colleague to be able to look into something like that for this area?
Yes. Yeah, we can look into it.
Mhm.
I don't know anything about them.
Right. It's just an option. It's something new. It's
Yeah.
something that nobody really understands or knows about, but is it a doable option? Is it something that would even be feasible out there and with our North Dakota winters? Like would
Right.
they?
That was the first thing that came to my mind was maintaining them
Right.
and keeping them working
Right.
would be a challenge,
Right.
but I don't know how doable it is.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I have a question for our DOT partner. So if the ultimate end goal for that intersection winds up being, let's just say, a roundabout, 2-lane by 1-lane roundabout, would there be any harm in the research that you've done in installing them leading up to the roundabout? Because it would not, in fact, be a stop light where you could go green or red or yellow. Instead, it's to make you aware of a potential slowdown. Do you have any thoughts on that, sir?
Yeah, commissioners, I think that's an interesting item to think about. You know, again, I'll just say, with the roundabouts that the DOT has installed across the state, I don't believe we've introduced any kind of rumble strip measure to them. However, I'd be curious to see the data that was found in that in Texas and Georgia that was mentioned. If I understood the comment right, in Texas they use it leading up to a roundabout. To me, there's some maybe parallels that can be drawn there because when you are approaching a roundabout, you are coming to a slowed condition. You're not stopping, but you are slowing down. So maybe there's some tie-ins there that could be looked at, but I don't know for sure without having done the research myself or seeing the data and the information that was mentioned. But it would be an item that if the question was brought up, we could take a look at. But I just reiterating that I'm pretty sure we don't have any of that situation in any of our many roundabouts that we've installed. But it's an interesting item.
Yeah, I think Mr. West or Mr. Ford would gladly send you along this information. I'm sure they've got your email, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, that you should be able to have this in your hands by tomorrow.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Anybody else have any comments or any?
Yeah, I got some comments. We need to, besides this, we need to get into a long-term solution because the Band-Aid's a Band-Aid. And every time we push off making a long-term decision, we just delay that. I've been around a long time. I drove I was at that base. I was stationed there. I drove it when there was 1 lane each direction and there was no stoplight. They put the stoplight up, I believe in the 90s, and it just made it worse. I was on the city council, it made it worse. And so I think we ought to discuss somewhat today too, there's two discussions, short-term, long-term. But the longer we wait to make a determination on the long-term, then the longer the long-term goes out. So I think we need to, as a commission, start making some decisions and getting this thing pushed down the road, pardon the pun. So I just want to go over the 2-lane roundabout. I went to all the meetings, I've read all the stuff. Well, you know me. So there are 3 issues out there right now. There's speeding, there's accidents, and then what I'm going to call severe or serious accidents, which is severe injuries or deaths. A roundabout, a 2-lane roundabout accomplishes the following things. Number 1, it will reduce speeding. You are going to slow down if there's a roundabout there. You're not going to take the roundabout at 65. Well, you'll do it once. So right now, the data I was shown says that approximately 30% of all drivers going east-west are speeding. That's a lot, basically 1 out of every 3. So if we want to reduce speeding, we reduce it through engineering and we force them to slow down with a roundabout. Number 2, the data states that accidents, the average accidents, will be reduced by approximately 35%. And this is data from North Dakota and from nationwide. The severe or serious accidents are reduced approximately 70%. That's where severe injuries or death occurs. So it will reduce speeding, it will reduce accidents, and it will reduce serious accidents based on the data both from North Dakota, because they are relatively new in our state, but they're all through the Midwest. And so there's a lot of data out there. The 2-lane option will build for future traffic. So we will have that by going 2 lanes, we're building it for the future if traffic increases. A roundabout, right now it's 4 years. I could do it less. I'm hoping we can go faster in 4, but worst case would be 4. The interchange, you're going to be looking at 10 to 15 years. That's just how long it takes. 2 years just to build it. And if you study it, there's a massive amount of eminent domain. There's water has to be moved, the ditches, roads have to be moved, on and on. It's a massive project out there. The cost is $12 million for 2-lane roundabout and 4 year from now money. It's $8.5 million adjusted for inflation at 8% would be $12 million. The interchange is going to be $100 million. So in the world I live in, I'm ready to make a long-term decision. I also want to mention, I know the airport authority is looking at this. Currently, the cost share at the local level is split between the city and county. And a side note to this, about a decade ago, there was work to try and get a solution out there, and it got blown up because the 3 local entities couldn't get their act together and make a decision. Well, that's not the world I live in. Let's make a decision. But if the airport authority is going to go against us on the roundabout, I just want to throw 2 things out there now, because I'm not afraid of firing the shots across the bow. Number 1, then we got to defund the airport and take that money and set it aside and put it into our highway fund to use for this projects, because our cost is going to go from $500,000 to $5 million. The second thing is if that's the case, then when it comes to the DOT, we should petition that if it comes to local cost, it should be 1/3 Grand Forks County, 1/3 city, and 1/3 airport authority. If they want to go the long route and spend eight times plus more money, then we're happy to take their money to help pay for it. So as far as I'm at tonight, and I know that what you're addressing is more of a short-term, to me is a short-term thing, because that's still not addressing the issues. Because if they're speeding now, I firmly believe after time they're going to get used to the rumble. They're just going to keep speeding. That's one of the main issues. And it also doesn't really, it will stop some of them from having their head down, I agree. But a roundabout will force them to slow down. It will force them to have their head up. And what accidents do occur, mostly are going to be more of the minor type than the severe, because the key here is no one's stopping, or very rare. I guess if both lanes are full, they might be stopping. But right now you throw the red light up and there's some people still aren't used to that. So I think we need to send a strong message to the city and the airport authority that we're ready to make a decision on this and let's go, because otherwise the DOT is just going to sit out here and la land. They're not going to make the decision for us. They want us to make the decision. Obviously they're going to have input, but they want to know what the local level wants to do. So I don't know where you guys and gals are at. I'm ready tonight to go with the 2-lane roundabout and get this thing down the road. Let's go.
Madam Chair, to be clear, the airport authority only voted to eliminate a 1-lane roundabout.
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah.
exclude the 2x1.
Well, from what I read, they want more data. Well, the data's there.
Yeah.
They were available to go to the meeting 2 nights, 6 to 8 at the Alara Center. The information's out there.
And the one thing that I haven't addressed yet, and it's, you guys are probably going to be on the same page too. You guys don't have the funding for the interchange. I know that a lot of citizens are like, we want an interchange. So do I. But where's the money going to come from? You don't want us to tax you. It's going to take much longer. How many lives are going to be cost in that long run? It's just not feasible. And I know you're on board with this. Let's keep the money in our pockets.
It's cheaper. It'll work. Let's fix it.
I think based off of our last meeting that we had with the DOT a few weeks ago, I mean, they're pretty set on, sorry, just talking, pretty set on a roundabout. I'd assumed it was right before they had the public meeting, but they were on board with us just getting to this point because they hadn't gotten this far with anybody in the past.
Yeah, that's right, Madam Chair. This per NDDOT, this is the furthest down the road they have gotten to date on a solution for that intersection. So, and Mr. West and I were part of the stakeholders meeting last week, and essentially where a lot of the comments and data were going was, to Ms. Levain's point, it's too expensive. It's just not a realistic possibility to go with the interchange. And a lot of the comments were kind of pointing towards that roundabout. So it's ultimately the city council's decision. I believe per that stakeholders meeting, NDDOT will go before the city council in January at some point in time. But definitely the county, sorry, Commissioner Bierke, I think the county commission, making some kind of formal statement definitely helps when NDDOT goes to the city. And the NDDOT will also come to the county board, probably the second meeting in January with the same presentation and data for you.
So I am ready tonight. I move that we pass a resolution endorsing the 2-lane roundabout and send that information on to the DOT and to the mayor and city council of Grand Forks.
You mean this information?
No, the fact that we pass a resolution endorsing the 2-lane roundabout.
Gotcha.
As the answer, what we're looking for, and send that on to DOT and to the mayor and city council of Grand Forks. They know where the county stands.
Very good.
Well, with that, knowing that it's very unlikely that the construction companies will accept my good looks as payment, I second that motion.
We could try.
You might want to second it then. But I'll second that motion. I think it's the most logical and reasonable and wise solution that we can make here as a body. And I echo everything that Commissioner
Mhm.
Bierke just said.
I think we're all on the same page,
yeah.
yeah.
So happily second that motion.
All right, we have a first and a second. Is there any other discussion? Cindy, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, with that, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Very good.
Ma'am, just so that Mr. Ford, you'll make sure that the DOT and that the mayor and council get that information.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, I'll work with Ms. Wamstad on that.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Luthain.
County board appointments.
I think, Madam Chair, county board appointments, there's 2 spots open on the Grand Forks County Water Resource Board. Process is kind of changing a little bit after Ms. Nelson retired, but I know I'm going to look at Ms. Leon because she's been helping and assisting the water board and they're filling their vacancies.
Dr. Hagen, members of the commission. So yes, like Tom said, as
Debbie retired, she was normally the one who this process would go through. I've been working with Lori Christensen. She is the secretary for the Water Resource District, and she's also actually going to be taking on the secretary role for the Weed Board as well. And so that will be coming before you shortly as well. But she made us aware that the 2 different spots were going to be, the terms were going to be up after the 2025 year, and that's Tom Durkin and Jim Hyder, who are both with us. And so we, per Century Code rules, issued notices of the openings on the board, asked for applications. It went out in the Herald. We only had the 2 reapplications from the 2 that are here tonight, and Tom Purdue, the chairs, with us as well. And so those would be the applications that you would see in your packets. And I don't know if any of you want to address the board? It might all just be in the packets.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Okay. No first and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right, Mr. West.
We've been approached by Burlington Northern, we've been approached by AECom, a partner of Burlington Northern Santa Fe, to cost share in a railroad crossing in Chester Township. I do have a map of the location. I'll just hand that to you, just so you're aware.
Is this the same one that's in our packet?
Yes, that printed off very well.
It did. Looks really good.
Oh,
Way better than this.
I saw
looks
that, I'm
terrible.
like, well, that's not gonna really work, but.
So it's just a mile west of Amaretto on a township road, 26th Street. They're asking the county to cover half of the cost of the crossing itself. It's not an improvement, or excuse me, it's not an upgrade. It's just to replace what's there. For the board's awareness, we routinely get requests like this, but they vary quite greatly. Sometimes we get no request to cost share. Sometimes we do. If it's a county road, traditionally, we've paid for the gravel or asphalt to be put back. We've helped with traffic control, that type of work. This crossing itself, I would make a recommendation that we don't cost share in it, simply because it's a township road. It's not our road. And if we do one, we better be ready to do them all. And there's a lot of crossings in the county. But not my decision. So
Move we reject the request for approval or for cost share.
All right, first and a second, any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
that is all I have. Any questions?
No, nothing else?
It's a personal record, Nick.
That's pretty quick.
It's really good. Really proud of you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Personal record. All right, Sheriff Schneider, you're up.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, today I would like to talk about contract policing with the city of Thompson, North Dakota. A couple months ago, the Thompson Police Chief resigned and took employment with another agency within the community, not the sheriff's office. And since then, they've been advertising for a police chief. They've reached out to us for options. We have been assisting them with their police services and coverage. Obviously, we cannot do anything with municipal ordinances at this point, but regular routine patrol, responding calls for service, we've been increasing our presence in Thompson. They did come to the conclusion, I believe it was the first meeting this month that they had, city council meeting, that they were wanted to move forward with contract negotiations or a contract with the sheriff's office. I worked with the mayor in the city of Thompson. He had also ran it by their city attorney. I've also been working with Ms. Wamstead on this contract. I guess to break this contract down for you a little bit, it is basically the same that we already have in place with Thompson and Northwood communities. One difference is obviously this individual would not be driving between the communities. He or she would be stationed in the city of Thompson, not going to Northwood or Larimore. There's no changes as far as what the county would provide or the city would provide. Again, it is a contract like we have with Grand Sky. They're paying for all of the services. We're just providing the training and experience and more tools and hiring procedures and all of that. As I told the city of Thompson, they do have a representative here as well from their council, but I told them that, you know, contracting is great for the community and for the deputies, and it's not great for the sheriff because it's more work for me. If we didn't contract with them, it is way less work for me and more work for the deputies and for the city. Because typically, you know, we call them one-horse towns, if that's still appropriate. They don't get the opportunities for training the way that bigger agencies do. We have more resources, more bodies, more coverage. So all around, it's a win for the community. And I do apologize. I did not get the contract in the packet in time. I did email it to all of you. I don't know if you had time to review it. And I'm fine if we need to push off the discussion to a further date.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve that contract with the city of Thompson. I did read it. I've been involved with those before at Larimore, so it looks good, actually with Grand Sky also. So, yeah. it's good.
I'll second despite his Lions logo on his shirt.
Better cover it up. Just kidding. All right, we have a first and a second.
I just have a question on the vehicle, because they have a vehicle there.
Yep.
So I just want to make sure I understood it right when I read it. You're going to keep that, it will be integrated into your fleet policy, and you'll just rotate that out at the appropriate time. And then because it's a piece of equipment, which the 11,000 for whatever that amount was, that'll just be adjusted accordingly when it gets time to buy a new car, and that'll just be spaced out over time.
That could be
right?
modified, correct, Commissioner Bierke. So they do have a fairly new vehicle with very low miles on it. We have had some discussion about it, and we worded this similar to Northwood, because Northwood's vehicle was newer as well. And I totally support this. Hey, you're not sure if you want to stick with the contract and what it looks like. So I understand you wouldn't want to give us the vehicle. So they will retain ownership and responsibility for insurance, et cetera, of the vehicle for the first year. And then after that, upon the contract continuing, the vehicle would be signed over to the county. We're not going to go sell it right away unless it's a lemon or whatever. But then we would integrate that into our fleet, and when appropriate, I mean, our fleet manager's already looked into it and knows when we need to change it out, when that year model is no longer going to be able to swap out equipment, and he's looking at that. We have had other discussions. For full clarification, I shouldn't say we. I have had conversations with the mayor of Thompson. They have apparently been talking about other options with the vehicle. What if we just sold it and you just bought what you needed here to be consistent with your fleet? And I just told them that this might be the easiest way to move forward. Let's just make sure this works.
That's fair.
I agree.
Yep.
All right, we have a first and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Thank you. Not on the agenda, but just a couple things that I wanted to bring to your attention. We have had some success with offering jobs to correctional deputies. So right now, if we have a batch that we're trying to clear background checks, I think they're in the last phase today. We're looking at right now starting 8 correctional deputies on January 2nd. So that's hopefully moving in the right direction. I just want to let you know that. And my goal, again, I think I did mention, if not here, it's in the media somewhere, that hopefully we can get that all 4 pods up and running February 1. That's my goal. Realistically, I would hope by Valentine's Day we can have them all open. So
Did they come from
That where the
that
girls are gonna go?
outsourcing that we did with that agency that
yeah, most of them did. We've had some other people just from exposure reaching out to us. There was a post in some Facebook group that somebody saw that was a friend of a friend that sent it to me, and she actually interviewed today and did very well. So yeah, some of it's word of mouth, a little bit here and there. Some is that the other entity that we worked with for recruiting.
I'm glad to hear that's producing fruit,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, no, we're very satisfied with the amount of applications that we've got, and you know the ratio seems to be holding true as far as individuals that you're offering a job versus no thank you. We just have a higher quantity of individuals to select from than we have in the past.
Great.
So-
Thank you.
So it sounds
And-
like it was a success to go through that agency.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. No, we're very happy with how it worked.
Very good.
Yep.
to hear.
Besides that, I probably might hopefully not see any of you. So Merry Christmas, drive safe, and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Sheriff.
I also want to mention
Thank
too that there's been some Monday morning quarterbacking on the sheriff's department and the deputy involved in the shooting.
Mm,
And it's easy to be on the sideline and know what to do.
yeah.
So I just want to thank the sheriff and the sheriff deputies for what they do.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's very easy to do it when you're not there. But when you have a firearm in your hand and you have to make the decision,
Absolutely.
it's something you live with the rest of your life. So I just want to thank the sheriff. I love the press releases. I love the you can run, but you can't. So keep it up. We're strong law enforcement, but for people to sit there and make some of the comments I've heard is, like I said, it's easy to say that when you're not there, but if it had been your relative in that situation, you probably would have a different story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Commissioner Bierke. And obviously, I mean, I'm still a believer that everything happens for a reason, and Deputy Bridger was put there for a reason that day. So, no, he performed at the highest level we would ever expect somebody to. Absolutely.
Likely saved another
Thank you.
person's life.
Absolutely.
You know, that's the,
And you know, they train. I mean, that's what they train to
Right,
do.
for
Shoot,
that.
don't shoot.
That,
And
5
they
seconds.
do those scenarios all the time and train for that. And they have to make those split second decisions. And I'm very much on board. So
absolutely.
100% agree.
Thank you.
Good.
I'll pass it on to him.
Very good.
Please
Thanks,
do.
Andy. All right. Colleen, you are up.
Right. Madam Chair, members of the commission, my first item is I'm looking for a motion to approve the existing precincts. I've notified the district chairs, and what you're approving is just in the county, not in the cities. The cities approve their own. This is the same as 2024.
Move approve.
second,
I have a first and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Okay, the next item is the November financial report. And on the first page, it's general fund expenditures. And I wanted to point out, most of them are under 100%, but on the insurance reserve, it's up. We've increased the budget for 2026. Part of this is the new buildings, the new sheriff's building, juvenile correctional center. The next item that's over is the victim witness fee. And this is an offsetting revenue. We collect the expense and then we send the revenue to the CVIC. And the county memberships, the National Association of Counties and the North Dakota Association of Counties were paid already this year for next year. So we're gonna do, we're gonna put them into prepaid expenses and it will be moved out of 2025. The other one is the coroner. They are over budget.
Bob laughs at that.
people dying to do business with her.
And the general fund, we are at 87.67% for the revenues and 85.78 on the expenditures, and we're projecting an ending cash balance of 17,786,489. Another item I wanted to point out was for the dome, we've spent 4.1 million to date on a $5 million loan. I'm not sure if there's any more bills coming in, but we'll be under. And for the correctional center, we've spent 13.2 million on a $15 million loan, and they're might be one more coming. I'm not sure if it has yet or not, but
I think both the Dome and the Correctional Center, I don't think we foresee any more
okay.
invoices coming in.
I have a question on that. Are they, did you get all that money up front, or was it,
No, we
As you-
released it as we.
you paid as you go? Okay. 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 Thank you.
My next item is the budget adjustments.
Do you need a motion on that?
No. On this one, I would like to request a motion to approve the 2025 budget adjustments. All of the funds on here have offsetting non-budgeted revenues or cash carry forward.
I got some questions on these, on some of these, like for the library or the ambulance or whatever. Was that already in their budget? When you say they're over budget,
Well, we put in a budget amount, but we only pay out what we collect every month.
okay. So what my question is, like, let's just go with the ambulance one. Budget and expenses. They're not getting any more than what you've collected.
No.
Same with the library. So they're capped.
We collect the taxes, zero out the account every month. And we,
Okay, I just want to make sure we weren't giving them and then giving more. Although it's the holiday season, we need to stop giving some more. Okay, I just want to follow up on it. Thank you.
You need a motion?
yes.
You need a motion to approve this? Okay, we have a motion.
So moved.
All right, second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
I think Bierke's still hung up on the coroner's budget. Surprised he didn't make a motion for fewer people to die.
Oh, boy.
My next item is I would like to request a motion to authorize a commissioner to approve any bills that come in before the end of the year.
Ma'am, are you okay doing that, Commissioner Chair?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll nominate Commissioner Hagan to take care of that.
Very good. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
And I don't know if I need a motion on this, but every year we complete the annual report to the Secretary of State for the Building Authority. And I have completed that. I'll make sure, do we need to request a motion to approve it?
Yes.
I'd like to.
Move approve.
I said, you need to change the registered agent.
Mhm.
The form has the prior auditor.
Yeah, it has Debbie Nelson on it.
Just.
They're all on the building authority. This should be okay.
Just recess and we can.
We need to recess.
Yeah.
Can we table it? Or does it need to be done before?
You just, Madam Chair, you just need a motion to recess the county commission meeting and then enter into the budget authority committee, accept the application to go forward and then adjourn and go back into the county commission meeting.
We can put it on the next agenda.
If
because
we-
Table it.
not due-
I was too much, I was gonna say, can we just
Yeah.
table it till the
Yep.
January?
It's not due
second?
until February.
Okay,
2nd.
perfect. Let's just table that. So we are following.
And remember, you need to change the registered agent.
I did.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Tabling that. All right. I think, was that all you had?
Yeah.
Colleen? Okay. All right, Mr. Ford.
Thanks, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Ms. Leon's going to actually address the compatible use study and the court facilities grant, and then I'll have one other item.
Chair Hagan and members of the commission. So we've talked about both of these items before. What you had in your packet is the professional services agreement for working with Matrix to conduct the compatible use study. We do have an individual from Matrix on the call. If there are any questions, the document and the agreement, it's all been reviewed by State's Attorney Wamstead, and I think she's comfortable with it. And so are we. And so we'd be looking for chair's signature for a January 1st start date to get the compatible use study process going.
You have a motion?
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
I want to point out, because I've had some comments from people, is you're the contact person for the county?
Yes.
Okay, and then from what I read, you'll be putting something on the county website?
Yes.
And can you go through that real quick, that process?
Yes, Chair Hagan and Commissioner Bierke. So one of the final products of this study will be a spot on the county website, easily accessible for community members to view the final product and to view results of the study. Of course, being careful with sensitive information. But that site should also, throughout the process, have information on public meeting dates, opportunities to provide input, and then there will be opportunities for both a review of the draft conversation, I believe, as well as the final product. And so at the end of the day, Minot actually has this currently for a study that they conducted in 2015. You can Google it and it'll pull up there. It was called a joint land use study at that point in time, but the county will have a longstanding website of that nature for citizens to scroll whenever they are curious.
And because you guys in there had a calendar for the whole year, so you can get our website up in January and start making sure people, if they go there, they can see their chances to public input or whatever, right?
I would believe so. And if it's not that website, it will be on our website,
Okay,
right?
you
It might not be the final product, but yes, the opportunities to.
Okay. Well, I just want to make sure, because I've had calls already, just want to make sure whether it be township boards or citizens, whoever, there's going to be a place to go. So if they go to our county website, they'll be directed to where they can see what's going on and know the calendar of events as it goes along over the next 12 months.
Yes, that's
Okay, okay.
And we'll make sure Matrix is very sensitive to, making sure that community members are very aware and have a lot of opportunity for input and are being kept informed along the way. And I don't know if our partners from Matrix on Zoom want the opportunity to address the board at all. It was Mr. Casey Bartholomew, but
Can you hear me, Gracie?
yes.
Yeah, Madam Chair, members of the commission, everything that was mentioned is accurate, and keeping in mind sensitive information may be withheld, but the process itself is intended to be collaborative and open to public comment along the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have a first and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Thank you. The next item, again, you're all familiar with, is the Court Facilities Improvement Grant. We've been working closely with Allison Bratton, who's here, Kelly Hutton, Bill, and Haley, to put together a package to apply for grant dollars to tear out and replace the carpet throughout court administration court area in our current courthouse. Like I've said in the past, some of that carpet is about 50 years old. There's pulling, unraveling. And so Bill got a quote for the carpet in those spaces. And the total there for the court admin was that $91,864.36. Now, we will be requesting 75% of that cost to be covered by the state through the grant. The other 25% is the responsibility of Grand Forks County. So that 25% is $22,966.09. And then another piece of this will be furniture movers throughout the process. Talking with Bill as Buildings and Grounds Manager, we kind of as a group decided that it would be best both in terms of cost and in terms of being able to work around the court schedule to use his staff and allocate county personnel overtime to do that moving instead of hiring Wayland's or another company. So that cost approximately would be $9,033.91. And so what we would be asking of the commission for this project would be chair signature on the final application for $68,898.27 in grant funds from that advisory committee. And then an allocation of $32,000 from the 2026 capital improvement budget pending the award of the grant.
Pending the award of the grant, I move approval with chair's signature.
I'll second it, but I got a question.
Okay, discussion.
I don't know if you want two separate, but also they want to do some of the state's attorney's areas.
And I
Make it a separate motion?
will address that second. I think
Okay.
that we're going to press
Okay.
pause on that part of it.
Okay, all right. I'm good then.
All right, we have a first and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Yes, and then as far as the second item with the carpet, the state's attorney's office, I think that in talking with the state's attorney Wamstead and with Bill Gershetsky, looking at putting a pause on that piece of it. It's not as dire in the state's attorney's area. It's still not great, but wanting to take more time to look at other options for carpeting in that area, I think would be the preferred route. And then we can discuss probably more in the 2026 budget planning or 2027 budget planning, I would think. Haley, do you have anything to? So y'all,
Very good. Thank you.
thank you.
Mr. Ford, you said you had an additional item to add?
Yeah, Madam Chair, Commissioners, Mr. Sawyer and Mr. Meyer are here from Grand Sky, but Grand Sky is requesting funding from the 2025 state appropriated EUL funds. The amount is not to exceed $291,543. Again, from the state appropriated funds. Those funds are needed to extend the professional services contract with Thales, and Thales is responsible for essentially keeping the beyond visual line of sight radar running and allowing tenants at Grand Sky Partners to access that. So that's the request. It's an existing contract. It's an extension, and it's absolutely an appropriate use of those state funds.
You have a motion?
Like to
Oh, yeah, sorry.
recuse Commissioner Rusted from voting on this
This item. Yeah,
item. Yes.
very good.
Sorry.
All right, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
That's all I have, ma'am.
All right,
Oh,
we need to motion, yep, go ahead.
second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. All right. Congratulations. Very good. Mr. Forbes, is that all you had?
Yes, ma'am, that's all I have.
Very good. All right, Ms. Wamstead.
Madam Chair, members of the board, you'll find in the packet a contract for mental health defense services. This is essentially the same contract approved last year, same attorney, same price, just a different year. So I would ask for the board's
Move approve.
to approve with the chair's signature.
Good. Second, all right, we have first and second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Thank you. The second item I have on the agenda is the Heartland Acres Supplementary Agreement. So if you recall, about a year ago, the board, in November of 2024, approved the lease agreement for the sheriff's office new space. At that time, the board also allocated $1.319 million to be dedicated to, I call it additional accessories needed to fit up the building for the sheriff's needs. And so originally we didn't know exactly what those items would be or what the tally would amount to be. And so it was to be addressed in a supplementary agreement to the lease agreement. And for a number of reasons that's been on the table to get done. We're nearing the point of being there. I was hoping to have an agreement for the board's consideration today. But in reviewing this, I visited with Ms. Morstead, Sheriff Schneider, Michelle Olson, and if you recall from when the commission previously approved that $700,000 was budgeted for in 2025 and has been paid in 2025. And then the sheriff budgeted for an additional $300,000 of that to be paid in 2026. And then the remaining balance is slated to be paid in 2027. And the agreement that was reached with the developer at that time is that he would finance that balance for the county at the going prime rate at the time. And so now there is a balance of $623,530.48 that's unpaid. But in speaking with Ms. Morstead, the county does have funds in cash carryover to just pay that off today and save the county the interest. And so instead of coming to the board today with an agreement, obviously, if the board wished to vote for a budget amendment to pay that balance in full in 2025, then we'd memorialize that in the agreement and probably bring it to the next board's meeting. So if the board's agreeable, I'd ask for a motion to amend the budget to include $623,530.48 to be paid to Heartland Acres this year to pay off that balance. And then did you want a budget amendment for next year?
If we could get a budget amendment to move the 300,000 that's in the 2026 budget, move it to 2025, and then the balance would be from cash carry forward.
Move approval.
All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Did you need those in two separate motions though?
I
No?
think not
Okay,
together.
just let me double check.
That's all I had. And then in light of that, I'll bring at next meeting the final supplementary agreement memorializing all of else. So
The next meeting will be after the first of the year though. So wouldn't we want to call something special to?
no, I think the sheriff will now have the authority to request finance and tax,
okay.
cut that check. So I think Michelle Olson is planning on to, assuming approval, cut that check tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So
Okay.
should be good.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Committee reports. Mr. Bierke.
No meetings, but I have MPO tomorrow and I'll be happy to inform them that the county has gone with the 2-lane roundabout and
Good.
I'll keep
Keep-
poking the bear.
Perfect.
Right.
Thank you. All right, Miss Peach, did you have anything to?
Yes, the Human Service Zone met prior to this meeting. Some of the information that was discussed, open positions. The zone is evaluating the open position duties that we currently have and are in the process of making changes to meet the needs of the zone. There have been quite a few adoptions that have taken place lately, and many of them are sibling groups, so that's very positive. Also, we have more children staying with their families because there is stronger safety planning and they are using the Youth Assessment Center when needed for emergency situations. The SNAP benefits have been approved through 2026. There will be new restrictions on the types of food that can be purchased. All state systems should be updated by September 26th. Moving into this year. And as the restrictions roll out, it's not based on where you get your SNAP benefits. It's based on the restrictions is based on the state in which you purchase it. So obviously, we could see just, our neighboring states, Minnesota, South Dakota, Montana, and potentially other states where they go to use their SNAP benefit card that came from Grand Forks County, but the restrictions would be based on the county in which the items are purchased. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have nothing to report.
I too have nothing to share with the board. What are we on now? Unfinished business, Grand Sky invoice. Do we have a Grand Sky invoice?
Again, like to recuse Commissioner Rusted from voting on that invoice.
Sorry. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Then I would like to make a motion to approve that invoice.
Very good. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. He's on it though. Good job. All right, commission portfolio assignments. The only one change, and I do apologize, I forgot to give a heads up to Colleen, but instead of having two commissioners with the jail and the sheriff's department, now that they're all one entity, we are going to have Mr. Rusted do both. So when we'd all have that discussion.
Early Christmas present.
So congratulations, you now have both. All right.
I got a couple things.
Yeah, go
There
ahead.
is no 911 authority board anymore.
That's correct.
Yep,
It is
correct. Yep.
being operated by the fire department.
And then under the terms, almost all of them are outdated, so that needs to be updated accordingly. The
Yep,
dates.
and
that-
if you are terming out of that, you.
No, I mean,
let me know
these were termed out last year. These are way old. You'll see.
Ones that she put in the packet.
Yeah, because it's 12/24, 3/24.
So the
Five-
dates just need to be updated.
Yeah, so they just need to
you're
go
right,
through
right.
and update all the dates on
Yep.
it.
Nope.
That's what I'm
Fine.
mentioning.
But if there was somebody that termed out, we just need to know that so we can make that adjustment. If there's something in the bylaws that say that they can't be on the board for however many times, but anyway. Commission dates. We need to have a motion to approve these commission dates, correct?
So moved.
There first and a second, any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Right. And the County Board of Equalization.
Yep, Madam Chair, Ms. Walsh is asking that the commission set the 2026 Grand Forks County Board of Equalization meeting. She's asking that you set it on June 2nd, 2026 at 4 PM, which is a county commission meeting.
So moved.
All right, we have a first and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. All right, and 2025 capital improvement transfer request.
I'll move approval.
Second.
First and a second, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Move adjourn.
All right, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Adjourned. And unanimously.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cindy.